I've never heard anything quite like that. That was really beautiful and moving. Thank you very much, Vivian. We're going to keep the poetry train rolling now with Simon, everybody. Please welcome Simon up here.
Hi, everyone. This is my third week running here. Yay. So I brought 4 poems. I might read them all if you guys like them enough. The short ones I've written very recently. The longer ones I wrote a long time ago. So this is one from just under a week ago that I wrote this last Tuesday. It's called Planning Intentionally. The plan unfolds eventually, revealing unknown secrets that are hidden below. The prints left in the sand, eventually forming mounds and dunes. They were never planned. They form regardless of intentions. Nature acts without intentions, successful in its own right. The first one. So this next one I wrote in March of 2018. So this is one of the older ones. It's a response to a friend's poem. My friend's poem was called Spring in Antarctica. I wrote this poem. It's titled Response to Spring in Antarctica. It's in 5 parts. So each of the 5 parts is a different response to his poem, which you don't know what his poem is yet, so cool, you never will. All right. So part 1. The deer is my sorry, I'm gonna start that over. Part 1. The deer is my spirit animal. I have seen many deer in my days, each one memorable in still silent sadness. One I never saw after midnight, working overnight at a highway service station. A car, a white Camry, pulled in, thickly splattered crimson bumper to roof with still warm blood of a doe. Windshield a web of thin cracks radiating from near dead center etched in red. The underhood components creaked as the driver eased the crumpled Hulk to a stop. Under phosphorus lamps, as I exhaled trails of tobacco smoke into icy air, I shook my head. The sweet smell of evaporating antifreeze mixed with the savory blood smoke burning off. More enticing than you would assume. And on the other side of the windshield, a brown-haired woman, eyes wide, fingers gripping tightly the wheel, waited to wake from the nightmare. Part 2, it's a little bit different, but part 2, exposed in winter, naked ginkgo bones instantly reveal the true identity of an ancient holdover, deciduous conifers. Only a handful persist, you, a large metasequoia, and bald cypress, though the relationship and the visible similarities are distant. So that on a single day in October, yellow leaves can fall together and speckle color on our world. Part 3. My relationship with solitude is built on balancing desire and fear. For years in my late 20s and early 30s, I would spend up to a week of winter on an island in Maine. An opportunity to be alone in the snow, in a tent, in a sleeping bag, alone. The appeal was the suffering. Physical suffering is not the same as the daily discomfort one feels living in the world that doesn't quite fit with the philosophy. But this chance to be closer to nature, albeit in a relative comfort of a synthetic down sack, put the struggles of modern life into perspective. Sometimes I would wait to find animal prints in the snow outside my tent. A coyote bravely close to my vestibuled boots. Deer toes impressed in curious circles at a safer distance. In the winter, life is merely looking to survive one more day, one more night, one more meal. Survival is not guaranteed. I have no guarantee either, but being there in those moments made me know it. I returned after a gap of 6 years to my 42nd winter. 5 years a father, my priorities had changed. I snowshoed to the shore after trudging in with too much gear and sitting on my sight. I sat atop the stony cliffs for an hour, listening to the waves. But the song they used to sing to me had changed in those absent years. I ate reconstituted food out of a plastic bag and nuzzled in my plastic bag where I struggled in and out of sleep, body dipping towards hypothermia for the next 6 hours. I arose 2 hours before sunrise and ran to the top of the highest peak on the eastern seaboard so that I could be the first person in the country to greet the day. My headlamp illuminated a trodden snow path, warning me of the iciest spots as Coyote Bays in the distance seemed to follow my ascent step for step. At the top, arriving at the pink fingertips of dawn, where I started to creep over At the top, arriving as the pink fingertips of dawn were just starting to creep over the horizon, I met 2 young men in their 20s who had made the same plan. I stayed for the show, and once day was fully broken, I wished them well and ran back down in solitude, silent except for the crunch of my shoes on the thaw-frozen snow. Part 4. 3 tiny bird eggs in a nest lay abandoned in my garden amidst the dry remnants of last year's juniper berries. I watched from my kitchen window